what I'd like to do today is we're going to speak about the ICH E6 Revision 2 and the impact that it has. Mainly, my focus today is really on clinical data management, but we know that the revision has impacted all of the disciplines within clinical research. But our learning objectives for today will be we'll talk about the recommended SOPs associated with the electronic systems which are used to collect clinical trial data. Very important, and most of us in data management have already been doing this, but it is now being defined in the ICH, which means that it's not only, let's say, US or FDA required, but it is also those that follow the ICH guidelines. We'll discuss data integrity issues described in the final guideline, list the considerations of risk associated in clinical trial conduct and its connection to clinical data management, because there is a firm resolution that we need to be addressing risk in our clinical trials initiatives. And we'll review the principles of quality management as related to clinical trials and the tools that we'll utilize to implement a quality approach. Because as we're looking at risk, we also do not want to compromise quality in taking a risk-based approach to our clinical trials conduct. So with that in mind, just a refresher of what are the main principles of good clinical practice. And we know that the principles are that we conduct our studies in accordance with ethical principles. And risk versus benefit, we really have to weigh risk versus benefit, and really, will it benefit the people that the drug is intended for? The right safety and well-being of trial subjects and patients are considered, and everything that we do is really based on that premise. Trials should be scientifically sound and described in a detailed protocol, and hopefully you've had the opportunity to work with folks that have actually written a very nice and significantly robust protocol with which to work. I've worked for many different sponsors and CRO, and I have seen some really good protocols and really bad protocols. So hopefully you have had the opportunity to work with those that are scientifically sound. The informed consent is most important, that every subject, every participant in the study has to be consented and consented appropriately. And this last item is very, very important. It's the confidentiality of participants need to be protected. So your HIPAA requirements, and there's a lot of things regarding HIPAA when we talk about, let's say, field monitoring and looking at data that are available in, let's say, electronic data capture or in the study files themselves. So we want to make sure that the confidentiality of participants is protected. So the ICH E6, the revision, the ultimate goal of that revision was to encourage implementation of an improved and more efficient approach to clinical trial design, the conduct, the oversight, recording, and reporting, while continuing to ensure human subject protection and data integrity. And throughout the presentation, you'll see that I've highlighted data integrity because it is the remit of all the disciplines that will be participating in clinical research. But from a data management perspective, we are the keepers of the data. And so we really want to ensure that we do everything possible to really guarantee that there is data integrity with what we have collected. Believe it or not, this is the first revision in 19 years to the ICH E6. And it was actually completed November of 2016. And it drives the adoption of the quality by design and quality risk management principles and methodologies. And so it states that the quality of the clinical trial must be ensured through fact-driven planning. So you really have to take a look at what you know about your study, what you know about your disease that you're studying, your patient population, and using that knowledge to be able to look at how we'll maintain the quality, but also how to, let's say, anticipate risk as well. And that must be supported by tools and processes that leverage past experience, real life data, in order to eliminate unrealistic study procedures and avoidable protocol amendments. In my experience, there has been the initial protocol that is being issued, and then during the course of events, whether it is, let's say, after conference with FDA or other issues that may spring up, there may be protocol amendments. What they're trying to do with this revision is to really have you implement guidelines and strategies up front to really bypass the need for too many protocol amendments. We know that it's impossible to anticipate every risk, but